Airlines in India have flown crores of passengers. And look at what happened to the companies. Kingfisher is gone. Go First is gone. Meanwhile, a company selling paint, just paint, has been one of the most profitable businesses in the country for decades. It's the same economy, same consumers. One industry keeps killing its players, and the other quietly prints money. Why does this happen? In 1979, a Harvard professor named Michael Porter explained exactly why. This framework is still the most widely used strategic tool in the world. It's called the five forces. And in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you what it is, how it works, and how to use it in your own business. Before we go force by force, Porter's five forces is a framework for measuring just one thing: how profitable an industry can structurally be. Not just one company, but the whole industry. The idea is that every industry sits under five competitive pressures. There's rivalry between existing players, the threat of new entrances, the bargaining power of the buyers, the bargaining power of the suppliers, and the threat of substitutes. Each force, when it's strong, pulls profit out of the industry. When all five are strong at once, there's just not much profit left for anyone. And when all of them are weak, the industry can be very comfortable, almost regardless of who's running these companies. And that was Porter's real point. The part that made this famous, before him, most people assumed good companies win because they are well run. Porter said, where you compete matters more than how well you compete, which is slightly an uncomfortable idea. Sometimes it's not the businessman, but it's the business. Warren Buffett has a line about this. When a great manager takes over a business with bad economics, it's usually the economics that wins. Okay, so let's talk through the five forces one by one and see how each one squeezes profit out. Force one, the most visible one: how hard are existing players fighting each other? And rivalry isn't about how aggressive the owners are, it gets brutal under specific, predictable conditions. First, lots of competitors of similar size. Think of any market street in your city, right? 10 mobile shops in one lane, 15 sari shops in another lane. Nobody can dominate. Everybody just grinds. Yes, a market is created, but there's a lot of competition. Second, when the product looks the same to the consumers. If every shop sells the same brand at the same MRP, the only leveler left is discount. And discount wars are actually bad for everyone. You don't win, you just lose more slowly. Third, high fixed costs. So airlines are like the classic example. A flight from Bombay to Delhi costs almost the same price, whether they're flying full or it's not fully booked. So those last seats get sold for whatever they can get sold. That's not a bad management. That's just the math of the business and how the industry works. And you saw the extreme version of this in the telecom industry when Jio entered free data. The price war was so brutal that out of a dozen of operators, basically like three or four of them survived. And fourth, when leaving is hard. Sometimes a factory owner, with machines and loans, can't just shut down on a random day. So loss-making players stay in the game and drag price down for everyone else. Force two is how easy it is for new players to enter. There's an uncomfortable truth here. High profits are an invitation. If a business makes good money and nothing stops newcomers, newcomers do arrive. You've seen this happen live, right? One momo stall does well. 6 months later, there are like 5, 10 stalls in the same area. Eventually, it's turned into like a food lane. One boutique works, one tuition center works, one cafe works, and the copies show up before the year ends. The only protection is barrier to entry. A few classic ones. Capital is a huge barrier to entry. You can't casually enter cement or steel or an airline business. The entry ticket itself removes almost everyone. Distribution. This is Asian Paint's real secret. It's not just paint, it's the tens of thousands of dealers and the supply chain that delivers to every small town in India. A new paint company can copy the paint in 6 months. Copying that network takes a decade. Next is regulations. You can't just open a bank or a pharmacy plant. RBI and the government controls the door. And the trust, why do people buy gold from Tanishq at making charge higher than the local jewelers? It's because there's trust built over the years. A new jeweler can't buy that in one day. Now flip it around. Your kirana stores, your restaurants, boutique, coaching classes, salons, almost no barrier to entry. And those are exactly the businesses where competition is hardest and the margins are thinnest. Force 3 and 4 are like mirror images, buyer power and supplier power. Picture your business in the middle of a tug of war, right? Customers pulling profits from one side, suppliers pulling from the other side. Buyers are powerful when they are big, and they aren't many of them. Ask anyone supplying auto parts to a big car maker or like a garment exporter stitching for one or two foreign brands. When that buyer asks for a price cut, refusing isn't really an option. They're half your revenue. Buyers are also powerful when switching costs them nothing. Your customers can compare your price on 3 apps while standing inside your shop. That freedom quickly caps what you can charge. Suppliers work the same way, just flipping. They win when there are few of them and many of you. And here's where it gets uncomfortable for a lot of Indian businesses. Ask a restaurant owner about Zomato and Swiggy, 20-30% commission on every order, lakhs of restaurants, two platforms. Guess who has the power? Same story for online sellers. Amazon, Flipkart are not your partners, they are your suppliers of customers. And there are only two of them. So here's the habit worth building. Whenever you look at any business, ask who in this whole chain is irreplaceable. Because profit flows towards whoever can't be replaced. Now, the fifth is the sneaky one, substitutes. These are not competitors doing the same things as you. They're just different things that solve the same need. Single screen cinemas weren't killed by better cinemas. They were killed by OTT platforms. Local tailors hit by ready-made garments. Travel agents hit by apps. STD booths, remember those? Gone entirely. And it's happening right now. Like 13 million kirana stores in India. For decades, nothing could touch them. Then quick commerce showed up, groceries in 10 minutes, and lakhs of stores are feeling it. The threat didn't come from a better kirana store, it came from a different model entirely. That's why substitutes are dangerous. They cap your prices invisibly. You can have zero direct competitors and still hit a ceiling. The point where the customer thinks for that price, I'll just order it on the app. So define your competition by the customer's need, not by your shop category. Every famous disruption is a substitute that the established player didn't count as a competitor until it was too late. Okay, so how do you actually use this? Simple. Score each force for your industry, strong, medium, or weak, and read the pattern. Let's do it for a restaurant, right? Rivalry is brutal. There's a new place opening every month. New entrances, everyone with 10 lakhs and a dream can start. Buyer power, customers have infinite choices on their phones. Supplier power, Zomato and Swiggy take their cut. Substitutes, home cooking is there, there's cloud kitchen, ordering in. 5 out of 5 hostile situations. The framework predicts most restaurants will struggle, and that's exactly what we see. Now, do it like for a pharma manufacturing or a specialty chemical unit. Licenses keep newcomers out. Technical knowledge takes years to build. Customers can't easily switch approved suppliers. Fewer forces attacking, much better margins. So same country, same effort, just a different game. So who should actually use this and how? If you're running a business right now, score your own industry honestly. Not to depress yourself, not because every weak point that the framework shows you is something you can work on. Too many competitors selling the same thing. Differentiate. Build something they can't copy. Platform eating your margins. Build direct relationship. Own your delivery. Own your customer list on WhatsApp. Every force has a counter move, but only if you can see the force clearly. If you're planning to start a business, run this before you put in your savings. Most first-time founders in India pick businesses that are easy to enter. Like food stalls, boutique, trading, coaching. But remember, if it was easy for you to enter, it's easy for the next person to enter as well. Sometimes the businesses that are harder to start are the ones that are easier to survive in. If you're investing, even small amounts, even like in SIPs or stocks, check the industry before the company. There's a reason paint companies and alternative companies like your Pedalites of the world have created so much wealth. They sit in the industries where the 5 forces are weak. And honestly, even for your career or your kids' careers, industries that structurally make money can afford to pay you as well. Industries that structurally don't can't. No matter how hard everyone works, the common thread in all of this, the framework answers one question. Where does profit leak out of this game? And can I stand somewhere it doesn't? So here's a mindset shift to take away. Amateur analyze companies, professional analyze the game itself. Before asking, is this a good business? Ask, is this a good game to be playing at all? Because even skilled players lose rigged games, which leaves one big question hanging. If some industries really are this brutal, how do companies like Asian Paints or Tanishq or DMart keep winning in them for decades? And the answer is called a moat. And that's the next video. The three type of economic modes and how to build one around your own. If this was useful, a like and a share will help a lot. See you in the next one.